How you feeling? We saw you put some shots up. You look like you're on target a fair bit. How are you fitting into this group? How do you feel?
Fitting in very well. The coaching staff and along with my teammates have made the transition very easy. I'm happy to be here. Practice is always, high spirits, and so it carries over into the games as well. And I'm just happy to be able to compete.
The transition of minutes on court is built every single game as you understood what they want you to do. Do you feel like you know everything that's required of you now to understand the whole game plan?
For sure. It took me some time to not necessarily figure out what they wanted from me, but mostly learning the plays and learning the tendencies from my teammates as well. As I practice with them and play with them, I'm building that camaraderie, and so now it's like I know everything.
We haven't seen you shooting much in games. Has that been because you've been working out where to go, or is that just the way you tend to?
No, it's definitely something that'll come as I get more comfortable, understanding where my shots will come from and knowing my spots on the floor. It varies from team to team. Comes with building camaraderie with my teammates as well, and the flow of the offense that we run. And so as I get more comfortable, I'll definitely be looking to shoot more.
Is it harder to figure out the offensive side of things rather than the defensive things?
Definitely, because defense transitions wherever you go from. Every team has different schematics and schemes that they put in place, different type of players that they have, and so not everything will be the same on offense. But defense is defense.
Kristian, you maybe didn't impact the score sheet like you perhaps wanted to. Do you get concerned about that at all, or do you give yourself that opportunity to sort of work into the season?
Yes and no. I was definitely hard on myself after the last game. Nobody wants to miss, every shot that they take. But, my coaching staff let me know that I impact the game in different ways. And so, not to be too hard on myself. So as I go forward, is, keep that in mind that not everything is based off scoring. And I feel like that's one of the aspects that I can bring. If I might not score, holding my opponent to, not scoring as much, I guess.
Does JR what's the role kind of given to you? Are you sort of just a bit of I don't want to say just, but like a supplementary sort of scorer? Like if Bryce isn't able to find the ball, do you kind of stepping in? Or have you sort of had more of a defensive effort sort of put on you from JR?
I wouldn't say I was given necessarily a role at all. When I talked to him before I came over here, he said that he just wants me to be a basketball player. And so he trusts me to be able to make the right read regardless of what that is, offensively or defensively. Everybody on our team has the freedom to shoot whenever they're open because he trusts everybody to be able to make that shot. So whenever my shots come, I'll step up and shoot them with confidence along with everybody else.
Nice. Is your wife coming over soon, or will it be good to have her here?
Yeah, she's currently about to be flying over from LAX as we speak. So she'll be here roughly tomorrow around noon. So I'll definitely be happy to have her here.
Have you watched much of Melbourne United yet, and what your take is on them?
I've watched. We're currently scouting them, so I've only seen them based on what we've seen on clips and stuff. But from what I've heard about them from my coaching staff, they're a well-run team, veteran team. So very fundamental. So we have to be on our P's and Q's whenever we play them. So it'll be a good game. We have a tough weekend coming up from them and also the defending champions. So it's a good measuring stick for where we're at.
What's it like going into a league where you don't know anyone and you're constantly coming up against new opposition each week and having to learn everything about them from scratch?
It's not necessarily anything different because wherever I've been, I didn't know anybody. So that's what the scouting is for. And so as we watch clips and practice the plays that they run in practice, you get familiar with them, understanding the personnel. It's not any different.
You've been in Perth just 2 weeks, but it feels longer from our side of things. How are you actually settling into Perth? Are you starting to feel a little bit at home, or are you still kind of just like?
I would say it's very much at home. I've been to the mall, went to Woolworths a couple of times, and so I grocery shop and stuff like that. So as far as the city's amazing. Seeing the skyline whenever I'm driving from where I live to the game. Didn't really have highways where I was at in France. So being back in the urban place is definitely refreshing. My wife was sending me pictures of it whenever I told her that, my agent had set this up. She immediately started looking up the city and telling me all the places that she wanted to go. So I'll definitely do more venturing out when she gets here.
In your trips to Woolies, have you been tempted to try any Australian cereals, Wheat Bix or anything like that?
I haven't tried the cereals. I saw something that was like cocoa stick puffs or something. I didn't. I just grabbed the Frosted Flakes instead.
You can end up anywhere in the world. You've been in Israel only 8 months ago. Like when you heard what happened there the other day, what was your emotions like?
It was definitely frightful because I still have relationships from Israel, players that I played with, and so just hoping that they're safe, along with everybody, not only that I know personally, but everybody that's being involved from that. But that's really the extent of that.
Have you contacted them to make sure?
Yeah, I reached out to a couple of my former teammates and made sure that they were okay, and they said that they were fine, and so I didn't really reach out more than that.
It's a scary scenario. Like athletes go all around the world and not realise what's happening in the
Right.
background. How difficult is it planning when you want to go to different countries on what you want to avoid and what you, from a lifestyle perspective, and not be involved in something like that?
Well, I mean, the only place I had known that was in war was like Russia. So, I mean, it's definitely something that you got to look up. That's something that my parents would probably do. I'm not too big on current events or anything like that. Like they watch the news, and so if I share everything that I do with my father and my mom as well. So they would be the ones who tell me like, I don't know, or something like that. So, but not only for myself but for everybody else, is definitely something that you have to take into consideration whenever you're making these decisions, because if you choose to go somewhere in the spot that you choose not to take, it might not be there. If you make that decision, then you have to leave abruptly. So, it's a slippery slope.
Were your mates anywhere near?
Nah.
No.
Mm-mm. No.
Cool.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Kristian.
So.